Nina Williams in Tekken 1, Jun Kazama in Tekken 2, Julia Chang in Tekken 3, Christy Montero in Tekken 4, Asuka Kazama in Tekken 5, Zafina in Tekken 6, Kuni Mitsu in Tekken 7. I would like to apologize to all 7 of you lovely ladies, because all this time I thought I loved you all equally, but now I finally understand that I've never known true love until she appeared.
せいぜい私を追い詰めてみせろ。貴様が覚醒する原因となった技。
At some point, I want to do a video on all the video game franchises that molded me into the perfect specimen I am today. But if you watched enough of my videos, I'm pretty sure you already know what some of them are. The Resident Evil series, the Sonic series, and there are still a lot more franchises I have not covered on this channel. But today, we are here to talk about my favorite fighting game franchise of all time. The first Tekken game I ever played was Tekken 5, and from then on I was obsessed with this series. And before Tekken 6 even came out, I played the series backwards, starting at 5 and ending at 1. I couldn't finish Tekken 1, I'm sorry. So the story was a bit confusing because I played it in that order, but honestly, the story can still be confusing even if you play it in the right order. But funny enough, the bizarre nature of this series is exactly why I fell in love with it. I do love Mortal Kombat, but it's just not on the level of Tekken for me. Smash Bros players are too competitive for me. It's honestly the only fighting game where I can get my ass beat by a 3-year-old. And I've heard really good things about Street Fighter 6, but I've never really been a fan of their combat system. So realistically, I don't think I'm ever going to pick it up.
You're just wasting your strength.
Oh. Well. What's up, gamers? So today we're reviewing Street Fighter 6. Tekken has always been a part of my life, and it's honestly the only series of fighting games I'm good at too. I love everything about this series, from the story of the Mishima family to the unique roster of characters, and especially the combat system. I don't know what it was, but the combat system of Tekken just spoke to me unlike any other fighting game. It can be such a fun and complex system depending on the character you pick, or it can be the easiest if you pick Eddie Gordo. But at least he's not in this game, so I don't have to worry about him at all. I can go on and gush more about my love for this series. But today, we are currently talking about this beautiful ass game right here. So Tekken 8 came out in 2024, and this is currently the best game of 2024. Which is not really saying much considering that it's only January, but let me have this. Now, usually I talk about the story first, but this is Tekken. We going straight to the gameplay. With each new game comes a new evolution of the combat system. In Tekken 7, we were introduced to Rage Arts, and in Tekken 8, we are introduced to the Heat system. The Heat system takes the combat to a whole other level, and I can already see players abusing this system to its full potential. This was a great addition to an already perfect combat system. For veteran players of Tekken, this system is going to make online fights a lot more intense, and for beginner players, I pray for you guys. And I can definitely understand why they added such an aggressive system into the combat, because the story needed it. The story of Tekken 8 is a fucking movie. If you are a Jin Kazama fan and you were mad at the fact that he didn't get any screen time in Tekken 7, play this game, you'll feel better. This honestly makes me appreciate Tekken 7's story a lot more, because without it, Tekken 8's story wouldn't have come together so perfectly. This was a straight up love letter to every Tekken fan, and it is honest to God the best story mode we have ever had in a Tekken game. Period. And if you have been following this franchise for as long as I have, you are going to be losing your mind while going through the story, because there are so many references and callbacks from the previous games that appear in this game. That being said, if you are a beginner player and you want to start off your Tekken journey with this game, you most certainly can. But hear me out real quick, alright? You can play this game first, but the story is so much more powerful if you've experienced the previous titles first. And even though there's a library that goes through the lore of the previous titles, I don't think that was enough. So to help you guys out, I will recommend you watch Clement J64's video on the insane lore of Tekken before you play Tekken 8. His video's link will be in the description, and he goes way more in depth compared to what they give you in the library. And I understand that there are gamers out there who don't give a fuck about the story of a fighting game, but when a story is this good, I honestly think that it will enhance your experience with this game a lot more, especially with the characters. And with that being said, Reina is now my favorite female character in the Tekken series, combat-wise and character-wise. Lee Chao-Lon will always be my number one. Excellent. But it felt like they made Reina specifically for me. So I'm just gonna assume that they did. They probably watch my channel. So with that being said, you're welcome, guys. I did this. And on top of the phenomenal story in this game, we also get a new mode called Arcade Quest, which is a mode where you battle different NPCs throughout the game in ghost battles and receive a set of rewards in the process. Now, I do love the ghost battles in any Tekken game, but do we really need a story mode for this? It didn't bother me, it just felt kind of pointless. I'm not gonna lie, I literally skipped every cutscene in Arcade Quest. A regular ghost battle mode would have been fine, though they do use this mode as a tutorial for new players as well, so I guess it's fine. Now as for the soundtrack in every Tekken game is fire, so I was not surprised whatsoever that we had some bangers in this game. And remember when I talked about callbacks from previous titles? Yeah, you gonna hear some fire in this game. But with all that said, Tekken 8 gave us an amazing story, addictive combat, and my new wife. We get married in June. So with all that said, my final verdict for Tekken 8 is the golden seal of approval.